I know. Here you are. This is Nostrovini with my friend, the intruder, and he's in here, and we're going to do Nostrovini, even though I'm not so feeling good. I'm going to do as best I can. So this is the first Nostrovini of the after day Easter. There was bad news for us Catholics. Well, I'm half Catholic, half Protestant, and the Pope died. Oh, yeah, right after Easter. That's very symbolic. I'm a little Italian, so I hope the no Pope is Italian, because I'd like that. We already had a Polish Pope and a German Pope, an Argentinian Spanish Pope, although his parents were Italian. Anyway, here we go. This is my assistant, Mr. He's a very positive thinker because he thinks he's 5'9", and we know that's not true. But he can't help it. In his country, all they eat is rice and chicken. They don't give him full meals. It's terrible. I feel bad for him. That's why I take care of him. Now, could tell me what's going on in the sports field. Normally I don't pay attention to sports reports, but he is such a great sportscaster that I feel good. And he has a certain amount of ethnic pride in his Mr. Soto, who was the first Dominican ever to play baseball.
No, it's not the first. It's the first high paid,
High paid Dominican
the
because they've been
highest paid in baseball league.
a Dominican in history. He's the big shot. And they're all jealous of him. And he did a little bad in the baseball right now because there's too much pressure on him. He's not used to this. He's used to the leisurely life of Dominica. Yeah, that's true.
Well, how you guys doing? Today's Monday, April 21, 2025. The weather is going to be 55, high 55 to 61, but a little cloudy and cold. So you gotta keep yourself nice and warm like me. Like I'm about to steal the house and rob your whole money, right?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I have to watch out for him because, I'm not saying that Hispanic people do drugs or drug addicts or robbers, but some are, and that's the one you have to watch out for.
But tonight it's gonna be it'll drop low 49 to 55, cloudy, a little bit of shower and breeze. So you gotta
They
come
better
prepared.
close my window. You know what they do? They leave
Yeah.
my window open, it blows all over here, and I get cold and I have to sleep in the fetal position.
Right.
Poor little Billy, you freeze him to death. What is he gonna do? He's been in bedridden for he don't know how long, 'cause his memory is through. Boo.
All right, guys. So you go first talk about the baseball, right?
Baseball is the worst sport ever, but I'm gonna put up with it.
Yeah, good sport, but not for
It's
everybody, like
very
you said.
slow.
And not for everybody.
It used to be American pastime 80 years ago,
Mm.
before football took over, and we wanted to see giant men in helmets crash into each other.
Right, right.
I personally like fighting sports in which people hit each other, but I'm a man of peace. Isn't that a contradiction?
All right. So right now we're looking at a couple of teams who was in. Baseball is in a season league right now, and there's a couple of teams that is on first place. And for yeah fans, I want you to be aware of what we have, right? So the Yankees is in first place in the
Oh,
Eastern as amazing all national. Detroit number one in
oh,
Central, and West Texas. Texas is number one.
oh, see, the Texans, they're tough. They're
They
Cowboys.
tough,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they good though.
Oh, they're good.
Very good.
Yeah, they're better than the Midwesterners because they don't play baseball in the snow because there's no
Right.
they can't, they'll slip.
That's
And,
true.
and and the New Yorkers, it's the weather's really bad. It's seasonal. That's why most baseball people are wimps.
Mhm.
The football players will play in the snow and the rain and the hurricanes.
Right.
That's why I respect them more than baseball. Baseball people look like they're in their pajamas.
So the National League, Philadelphia is in first place, Chicago is in first place, and Santiago is in first place. Those teams, you gotta be careful because they're right now, they're very, very strong. They're in the top league right now.
They're very
But the
strong.
other team, they gotta play two times harder just to get today. So,
It's not fair. It's incomplete. There's too many numbers involved. I can't keep track. In boxing, one guy wins, one guy loses, and that's it. And then you put it on the record and you can look it up. These guys are RBIs and this and this, and they can, oh my goodness,
mostly it's more wins than loss.
more wins than loss. What
so
the hell is going
Those
on
teams
here?
basically they have a lot of wins. That's why they're in the top league right now.
It's not right. They don't know what they're doing. They don't.
Well, yesterday, I'll tell you the scores from yesterday. It was a really good game because someone blew the team out. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they fell asleep. I don't know, Vinny, you did something to them?
They blew this team out.
Yeah.
That sounds dirty. You blew the team out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the score was very high to the point that they couldn't.
What kind of game is that to listen to? Oh, it's all one-sided. Don't make no sense.
Sure.
I don't want to put down the national pastime, but it's not the national pastime anymore. Football is.
Right. All right. So rookies, they beat Nationals 3-1.
Wait, how does a group called the Rookies, inexperienced, get and beat the Nationals who are national and have everybody in the team?
That's the number one question.
That's what I want to ask, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I do know I have the intuition. Look at my eyes. This is the intuition.
Oh boy.
Oh, and I could do the other eye too. Look at that.
Padres beat Astros 3-2.
The Padres?
Yes.
You know who the Padres are? That's the priests. And the asteroids are from outer space.
Right.
Maybe this is symbolic of something
It could
bigger.
be symbolic, who knows?
The asteroids and the Padres. That's what they called the priest in the Spanish world. The Padres. I know that. I've seen Westerns.
Right. Angel beat Giants 5-4.
Oh, that's good. I remember he was telling me yesterday that the Giants beat the Angels, which is very bad because Giants are bad and Angels are good. And I got scared because I meant this means symbolic. But then the Pope died. The Pope died.
Yeah.
He was the head of the Vicar of God, and now he's gone. I wasn't too crazy about him because he's a little liberal. He thought a non-believer could be go to church.
Right.
That don't make no sense. Not that I've ever been in church in a long time. I think if I didn't go to church, I'd explode.
Right. All right, so I'm going to tell you the scores and then we talk about it, all right?
Okay.
White Sox beat Red Sox
The White
8-4.
That's good. The White Sox beat the Angels, the Red Sox. But then what does that mean? And why do they put the Sox against the Sox?
Two different teams, but they beat the other team.
But what are the odds of the Sox, the Red Sox, and beating and fighting each other? It must have been a setup.
The Reds beats the Orioles 24-2.
The Reds, the communists, beat the Oreo cookies.
Orioles.
Now, what does Oreo mean? In the 60s.
24 points to 2 points. That's a blowout.
You know what they used to say in the 60s? It was a racial epithet. When they talked to a black guy who was, they would say, "You're Oreo." You know what that meant? That you were black on the outside and white on the inside.
Wow.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
And then you do a whole team based on the Oreos. Don't make no sense. Nobody has a sense of history.
Right. Guardian beat Pirates 5-4.
Guardians? That's a very impressive name.
Beat Pirates.
Parrots?
Right.
There's a team named Parrots?
Right. Marlins beat Phillies 7-5. The Braves beat Twins 6-2. The Marinara beats Blue Jays 8-3.
The marinara?
Yeah.
As in spaghetti sauce?
It's closer, but no, let's forget it's a baseball team, guys.
It's a baseball team called marinara? What's going on here? Who's calling me? Who's this?
I can tell you why he's on the phone. Warrior beat Tigers 4-3.
Hello? Who's this? Is anybody on this other line? Is anybody gonna talk to me? I'm not well, you know. You can't do this. You can't be calling me in these false calls. Are you a robot? You're not answering me. Well, I'm gonna hang up on you. No, he's kidding me. Oh, wow. You bums! You didn't do it. You didn't talk to me. You're supposed to give me a blood test. Oh, these guys don't make no sense.
Well, thanks for the instruction, robot.
Yeah.
But Yankees beat the
I don't
Rays.
know I'm crippled
0.
up.
Mets beat Cardano 7-4. And Ray will be at the Brewer beat 14-1. That's it. Diamondback beat Cubs 3-2. Dodgers beat the Rangers 1-0. And National won again 3-2 with the rookies.
Wow.
As you can see, it's a lot of games going on. There's a lot of games been blowing
Oh,
out.
God.
You know what I mean? It's been blowing out. But it was
It was okay.
okay. I'd say 3 other games was very competitive. Very competitive. You know what I mean?
But
it'd be okay.
it's very confusing because they're not tied. See, in boxing, when you're ruthless, that means you're a ruthless fighter. And when you got a big, it says Thunder. Thunder, there was a black guy called Thunder.
Right.
And I knew he could punch because his name was Thunder. But sometimes the English are deceptive. They have somebody like Puncher Billy, and he can't punch his way out of a paper bag. It's very confusing.
Right.
And they sing happy songs before the fights begin. But not in soccer. Soccer, which is the most boring game ever,
Ever.
and even worse than baseball.
What about golf? Golf is not boring?
Oh, no, when Tiger Woods did it was exciting, but not since then.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much, when the pretty girls do the golf, then I get excited. In spite of my years.
Okay.
What? I'm not allowed to get excited over pretty girls?
No, you
Were
can.
you crazy? Well, you think I'm dead? I'm not dead yet. I may be 65 years old. I'm gonna keep a secret from now on because people think I'm younger. They think I'm in my 40s or even 30s. You don't think so? You can argue with me over the internet? Well, let me tell you, if I could raise my fist, I would.
Is it? Oh, there we go.
You could get it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, today we have Yankees playing Guardian right now. Red Sox playing Marine. Padres playing Tiger. Phillies playing Mets. And Guardian playing Brave. And Blue Jays versus Astros at 8:10. At 9:45 is Giants versus Prayers. And the Red Sox beat the White Sox.
Wow.
So you guys imagine what's going on.
Oh, I can't imagine what's going on. I can imagine very boring stuff happening. You know,
This is what's going on.
you know what? They have more fights in the stands than they have in the TV on the shows.
Right.
You know, people watch baseball and football, they get excited, they hit each other and take too many drinks. That's why I would never go to these games because I'm a delicate flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna join the Marines, but then I realized I was a coward. And that way I couldn't do it because I'd get shot first off the bat. Or I would like run back in the boat when I came off the landing ramp. I'd say, what? People are shooting at me? What about no noise? I won't go back home.
Can you imagine you went to if he made a decision to go out there, he would not be the same.
Oh no, I'd be court-martialed 10 times over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I could be brave once. Like, say if there was a bunch of babies and kitty cats in a fire, I could rescue them. I'd be brave at that point. Just once.
Just once, right?
Just one. So you can get it. In one arm I'd have the kitty cat,
Right.
and one arm I'd have the Gerber baby.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're talking about NBA. As you guys know, is playoff is one of the biggest game right now. It's like watching
NBA.
it's like watching the Super Bowl.
Only for big black guys who
But
are 8 feet
only for
tall.
NBA. That's the only big difference now.
Well, let me tell you something, NBA, and I hate to be critical of the black people, but why don't we white people support you basketball players left and right? And 80% of you are black. And you know what? You don't support hockey. Why aren't black people going? You could watch ineffective and coordinated white people fight each other on the ice and lose their teeth. I lost my tooth, but it was for an apple, not a hockey game. But yeah. But black people don't like the ice. They can't figure it out.
Right.
You know why?
Why?
Because they don't like the cold weather.
Mm.
That's why in the country, Canada has great ice hockey games,
Mhm.
and the Russians have great hockey teams,
Right.
but America, not so much.
No.
Around the
Well.
Canadian border, but not, and then we support in the country and the city, but nobody supports us.
Right. I mean, it's true.
But in a way, I'm happy because maybe maybe superior black athlete would dominate hockey, and then that would be the last of our bastions.
No.
Poor little white people, uncoordinated them. They are not the best athletes ever, but they try a lot and as hard as they can. What are they gonna do? I have a man back of me. You know what they did? He hasn't even mentioned it. No, Mr. DeSoto,
Right.
they're very mean to him. In his
Why? Why?
well, because they picked him to be a top man for baseball. And as you all know, Dominicans can't play baseball that well normally because they're too short. Not that they're good size, but the thing is,
Not true.
he's denying me, but I know the truth.
It's not true.
I know now that
How about Alex
Zimba.
Rodriguez?
I have no idea who that is.
As I said, he was a Dominican. And he retired early because he broke the record. He won 102 championship.
You know what they call this? Disinformation.
Yeah.
See, he knows I've been locked in this house for 15 years, and he could tell me anything. You know what he tells me? He says, I'm 5'9". In history, let him stand up. You watch. He's not 5'9". He's a little poor Dominican boy who was raised on rice and beans in Dominica. And then they send him out here, and he tried to play basketball. It wasn't fair because the black people are much taller, and even the white people who are from Russia. And he's a little man. He's a good little man. He's the best. But that's not the point. The point is I'm saying that he's lying to me. And you know what? I saw Africa, and actually my girl from Africa, she lives in a city that has walls and discotheques
Mm-hmm.
and is fancy,
Right.
but I still don't believe it. I
You
haven't.
don't believe
I
it?
don't see. I don't believe
Oh,
it.
man.
I think they're fooling me.
You
They
might
showed
listen up.
because I'll forget all about it by tomorrow. I won't remember,
Yeah.
and she'll be back in Zimbabwe. Oh, what else is going on in the world?
Okay, so now we're talking about the NBA playoff. Yesterday, Thunder beat Grizzlies 131 to 180. Celtics beat Magic 103 to 86. Cavalier beat 121 to 100. And Warrior beat 95. They beat Rockets 95 to 85. Now remember, guys, this is the playoff. This is the ending of the fight.
This is the big time.
This is the big time, guys. You gotta play 2 times harder.
Two
Just
times
2
harder.
times harder just to get where you at right now.
You can't just pace
This is
yourself.
not the beginning. This is the ending, guys.
This is the beginning of the end.
This is the ending. You gotta play hard. You see how close those scores is, right?
Right.
You can't be lazy and sleep on this. No, you gotta play.
You can't be in the dugout.
Right.
Isn't they have a dugout and you can't sleep in the dugout, take a nap? No, you gotta be on. But I don't think they get basketball, they get dugouts. I see they're sitting on little benches.
Mm.
Why don't they have a dugout like baseball? Because they know that the basketball players would do the hoogie doogie. Because basketball,
No, they don't have a dugout.
they're known for the
They have
hoogie
the
doogie.
stadium, but they don't have a dugout.
They don't have a dugout because you know what they would do? They would take the girls in the dugout and do the hoopy doop, and
Right.
that would distract them from their job.
Sure, sure.
It's true. They're very virile. They're very virile people.
Well, today, guys, if you're still watching, the Knicks is playing Pistons today.
Who are the Knicks and who are the
Knicks,
Pistons?
New York Knicks.
Who are they? What are they a basketball game?
Basketball team, New York Knicks.
See, I have no familiar with any of these teams. At least I know who the Mets and the Yankees are.
Yeah, it's like the Knicks and Nets, right? The New York Nets is in Brooklyn. The New York Knicks is in Queens. So it's like Yankees and Mets. The Knicks is the Yankees and the Nets is Brooklyn.
See, he's explaining this all very patiently to me, and I won't remember any of it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yankees and Mets, Nets and Knicks. They're
Nets
all
and
from New
Nets.
York. Everybody's going for the New York team, and that's what we're all going for. at the
Should
top.
I go for them? Oh, yeah, I hate
Go
you,
for it.
San Francisco Knicks.
Right. The Knicks is playing Clippers today, guys. All right, so
The Clippers.
at 10 p.m. So if you can catch on to that later on. All right, guys.
He'll be on his little phone watching them. I know it.
Yeah, the games is right now serious right now. Tomorrow is Pacers playing Bucks at 7 p.m. Grizzlies playing Thunder at 7:30 p.m.
Greasy?
Grizzly.
Oh, Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I thought he said Greasy.
All
I
right.
said that's some name for a team.
7:30, right? And then on Vinny favorite team, Timberwolves is playing Lakers at 10 p.m.
Oh.
But the difference is the Lakers are a very strong team, so
Oh.
we got to see how that go out. But they're gonna play hard at the end of the playoff.
Oh, they gotta play. You can't be lazy at the end of the playoff. You can't just say, "Oh no, I gotta fool around and have my girlfriend out." No, you gotta be a good boy.
So basically, the end of the playoff, the coach is not. He does not allow the players to go to bars, clubs,
Really?
parties, nothing.
They
Why?
can't do that.
Because if they risk of doing something, that's the whole playoff.
Right, and
The
they,
whole team.
they're gonna go, they're gonna do a drug test and they're gonna say, look at that.
Exactly.
They're
See,
doing the drugs, they're doing the stimulants.
right? It's like you remember Mayweather. He
Yeah,
said when he had a big fight, he did not have to hoopy do
he doesn't do the hoopy.
until fight is over.
And then he does a lot of
I
hoopy
can
do.
imagine the wife. She's like,
I need some hoopy do.
I need some hoopy do. But
Why don't you retire
it's
so
like
I
a
can get some
whole-
hoopy
a
do?
whole month without doing the hoopy do because
Oh, the whites don't like that. They don't,
and that's
and
his
this,
wife. The wife don't like it, but that's his method of being a better fighter. You know
that's
what I mean?
right.
He feel like it's taking a lot of energy out of him when he does the
He
hoopy do.
takes the energy and he gets mean because he hasn't done hoopy do, so you don't want to deal with this.
Wow.
Oh, Mayweather. He keeps on doing exhibitions, but he fought John Gotti's son or
Yeah.
daughter or what, not his son, not the daughter, but somebody else, and he won, but he'll be in the 87 and like doing exhibitions, like the old
I mean,
time
he's a
fighters.
good fighter. He just can't. They can't find fighters for him.
They can't,
Which I heard multiple times that they can't find fighters for him because the way he's fighting, he's really one of the biggest fighters at this moment right now.
right, even though he's been retired in a certain sense.
Right.
But not in terms of exhibition. But he always picked his spots. He always waited for the other guy to get old. Like when he fought Pacquiao had been knocked out and had an injury.
And Pacquiao's still fighting guys.
No, but Pacquiao needs to be sharp. And Pacquiao, I love Pacquiao because he's so exciting. Oh, no, Pacquiao, he lost to a no, if he had fought Pacquiao in his absolute peak and Mayweather at his peak, I think Pacquiao would have
I
won.
think he take it.
Because you know why?
Right.
Because Mayweather always in the first fight had trouble with awkward fighters that were unpredictable. It was when you were predictable in the rematches that he got the best of it. There was a fighter called the Drunken Master, and he gave Mayweather the toughest fight he ever had, bloodied him up early in the career because the Drunken Master would jump around like a crazy man, like Jackie Chan on, yeah. Oh, he was the Drunken Master. And he lost a whole bunch of fights, but he won a whole bunch too.
And on their fight, there's a lot of rumors from both sides that he stole they paid him Pacquiao won. They saying Pacquiao won. The other one's like, oh no, it was like a close fight. It was a mess. But you gotta remember, it's two different styles of
Right,
fighting. Pacquiao is best for speed. He's
right.
very speed, and you know what happens when you got a lot of speed? You can consuming a lot of points because now you're hitting. Pop, 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 pop.
That's
It's
true.
points consuming. And
And Pacquiao,
Pacquiao,
yeah.
he's a very heavy hitter.
And he's very heavy, but he hurt his arm. That's
Right.
why you Mayweather, you thinking you were never that exciting a fighter anymore. There's no classics with Mayweather in them where
Mm,
you go, ooh, I want to see that fight again. You never noticed that? Like this Gotti against Ward
right.
and Hearns against Marvin Hagler
Right.
and Sugar Ray Leonard against Doreen. These are
Those are
classics
the classic big fights. You're right.
because they fought them at the peak. Or even, you may not know this, but you're being Hispanic, you should. Do you know who Wilfredo Benitez was? He
Yeah,
was
seen him.
he was one of the greatest defensive fighters ever. He was the man Mayweather of his time, and he
Mm.
won the title. He was the youngest fighter ever. He won at 17
Oh,
against a Colombian called Cervantes,
wow.
and who was a great fighter in his prime, and he beat him.
Mm.
And then he fought, and Sugar Ray Leonard fought him, but they negated each other's style. Wasn't that great a fight? Because both the defensive fighters, but finally Sugar Ray Leonard with his speed and aggression got him and knocked him out in the 10th round or something like that, or the 12th round. It might have been the 12th round.
Right.
See, I know this because I've been around a long time. I don't look it because I'm so young looking.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But now we gotta talk about boxing.
Oh, let's
The,
talk about.
what the infamous Vinny gotta talk about.
Okay, we're gonna do that, but I haven't been able to examine my fight. Connor Ben is gonna fight.
Well, just remind people what people's getting into next week, so we know what's going on.
See, what's gonna happen is,
Mhm.
and
Let me see.
do I have my notes? Connor Ben is gonna fight uh um Chris Eubanks. Now I've been examining because I've been very sick, so I haven't been able to examine the fights or the card that they're on. So Connor Ben is a much from what I saw, Eubanks, I think it's Eubanks, I get them confused. They're both sons of famous English fighters, and it's a grudge match. But Eubanks, Connor Ben is faster.
Mm.
He's like lightning and he's a little bigger. Yeah, he's a little bigger. And I think he's gonna win. Yeah,
One day lost.
it's the one he lost. See,
This is the
oh, here's my fights that I examined. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, this is gonna be in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna examine the fights. Canelo Alvarez, 62, 2-2 with 39 knockouts against William Scroll, 23-0 with 9 KOs. Now you may think, Vinny, what are this is one-sided because but it's not so much
Right.
because the Skull is a Cuban and they're great amateurs, and he's a master boxer and he's never been beaten or floored. And he's the type of style that gives an aging Canelo fits because Canelo's been fighting at a higher weight and he slowed up a bit. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest upsets ever. And I am betting on the South African to outpoint Canelo. Now, this is going to be tough because this fight, I think, is going on in next to Mexico, but not quite in that country. Maybe in Vegas, but there's a lot of Mexicans in
Like
Vegas.
in Mexico.
Maybe New Mexico, or maybe someplace close to Mexico.
Okay.
And lots of Mexicans. Because and it's on, I think it's on Cinco de Mayo. I'm not sure. Because I'm not a Mexican. But anyway, it's gonna go happen. Well, Manay Manuga, 44-21, 2 and 1 with 33 KOs. And he's fighting Bruno Soares, 26-0, 2 with 5 KOs. And you know what happened the last time they fought?
What happened?
Oh, look, this is very dramatic. The the Frenchman, who had hardly any knockouts at all,
Right.
took and was floored by the Mexican. The Frenchman knocked him out in 5 rounds with one punch.
Oh,
And he didn't have a punch in the upset of the year. Nobody expected it. But you know what I think?
what is that?
I think the Mexican has been in a lot of tough fights, one after the other. And he took like a real beating with the punches he took from his last fight with Canelo. And I think sooner or later your face wears out, your jaw wears out. So I think he's gonna lose again. Now we're talking big money I'm gonna win.
Right.
Now, let's see. Marco Bagolo, 21-2 with 16 KOs, is fighting Eric Jigarabu, 20-1 with 14 KOs.
Wow.
Now, you know what they did to poor Mr. Bigelow?
What happened?
He was out of shape. He hadn't fought in a while. He got fat to 300 pounds. They got him off the boat after and he's invincible. When people hit him, nothing hurts him.
Right.
But they got him off a plane trip and so he was old, dazed, and fat and out of shape. And he got knocked out by Parker in 2 rounds. But it wasn't a fair fight. You can't. It's like me going up against this crazy person who comes to my house.
No, you're right.
No, he can't do that. You'd say, Vinny, you haven't had a fight in years, if
It's like
ever.
a mismatch. Right.
It's a mismatch, and it's very bad. And they forced him, but they're gonna reward him by putting him in with Eric Jabua, a guy who just lost a close fight, I believe. I'm not sure with who. And he just lost a close fight, and he's a big puncher. He lost one fight, but I think that Gulu is going to win this one. Another upset. Oh my goodness, Vinny Gachok, you're going to make lots of money. Now let's see what's going on here. Oh, Voodoo Jack, 23-3-3 with 17 KOs. He's fighting. They changed his opponent because the Englishman got an arm injury, much like I have. And his name is Nero Makolgia, 27-2 with 12 KOs. Now this is close because Mr. Blue Jack is 41 years old.
What?
He's an old man.
Yeah.
He could have he could be old enough to be my son, but he's not. He's old enough to have a son who's 21.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. And he's fighting this, but we don't know about the Albanian. I'm not sure who to bet on this one.
So
It's because last time I bet on one of these Eastern European fighters, he got knocked out. And I lost my parlay. And I'm bitter about it.
That's not good.
No, because we're gonna make the money. And then the last one is El Angelo Marco Miranda pro debut. Big amateur. He's fighting Brian Leone. And no, it's Michael Pallone, 4-5-3 with 2 KOs. So he's fighting a guy that's not that good.
That's not good. Right.
And he's fighting Brian Leone, 6 victories, 6 by knockout. And Leone, I think he's a Cuban. You gotta watch those Cubans.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, and he's fighting Ergon Guerrero, who is 11-3-1. But I looked him up, and I think the Cuban's gonna win. But that's my bet. Now I'm gonna have my friends look up these fights to see if my odds are good, and maybe I'll bet ahead of time. And also, some of them are pay-per-view, so I have to put out extra money. But I'm gonna make a profit and be rich.
That's the point. Yeah.
That's the point. Now, my good friend here, the ninja, you know you know what? I think he's a burglar. Yeah, I think he came into my house and burglars.
Oh no.
And he's disguised as a good guy, because that's what they do. That's how the burglars get you. Anyway, we're gonna sign off now.
Yes.
We
Let's
just,
sign off.
and so maybe we'll sing a song.
Okay, go ahead, sing a song.
It's a small world after all. It's a small room after all. I'm stuck and trapped in here all the time. And he sang to me, oh, what? Oh my God, he sang. Oh my God, the horror, the horror.